Hey everybody. All right.
Hey.
This is Mama and Me. I'm Jazz. I didn't say I was me on the last one. Mama and Me at the Movies, episode 2. For this review, we saw Don John.
Yes.
Written, directed, and starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
Who, this is your first time actually seeing him.
Never would have known him, but he looked familiar.
Even though I spoke so highly of him, and you were like, huh? Joseph, he was in Inception. He was in Looper, which is a good movie. I fell asleep on Looper, woke back up, and still liked the ending.
Okay.
That's how good that movie was.
I haven't seen either one of those.
Looper, both movies are kind of confusing, but that's beside the point.
Today, Don John.
Don John, co-starring Julianne Moore, Scarlett Johansson, and
Tony Danza
making his return to mainstream, anything mainstream.
And older.
He was older. He was older, but he owned his role. He did a really good job.
Oh, yes.
He did.
And the woman who plays his wife that neither one of us
can think of
sadly
her name.
didn't even bother to look up.
I was Brie Larson. I think her name was Brie Larson.
Okay.
She was hilarious.
She was good.
She was hilarious.
The daughter, the sister.
I can't think of what I've seen her in. I actually want to say I've seen her in Sky High from Disney.
She was just so predictable for me. She was predictable.
Kind of. Like I kind of knew where they were going with her character.
Yeah.
The movie itself though, it's
twisted.
It's probably not what you expect.
Twisted.
Quick synopsis of the movie. It's about a guy who
don't give anything away.
You don't even want me to say a quick synopsis?
Quick synopsis. I'll punch him if he says too much.
Okay. It's about a guy who it's about a guy who's shallow and kind of messes around with women, but he's also addicted to porn. That's a very quick, no spoiler synopsis. Like I said though, one thing that the movie surprised me with was comedy.
Yeah, it was funny.
Did not expect it to be
moments.
funny.
It had moments. I kind of thought it was gonna be funny though because just the little trailers that I've seen, the few trailers I've seen were kind of funny.
To be honest with you, the way that they were kind of mapping it out with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Scarlett Johansson, I was like, did this dude write a romantic comedy? You know, and then the way they went about it, it was not what I expected at all.
Twisted.
The stylization of a lot of the shots too. Some of the shots when I was watching the movie just reminded me of Pulp Fiction. Like
colors, brilliant colors.
Definitely, and the way just the way they filmed him driving down the street. I was like, this really reminds me of Pulp Fiction, the way they filmed it. And then they had a lot of just not Pulp Fiction, but a lot of stylized shots that helped to illustrate the story that he was trying to tell. And the story he was trying to tell was an interesting story, to say the least.
To say the least, it's a good movie.
It was actually very well written and it was very well acted.
Yeah.
Very well acted.
Yeah, very well acted.
Everybody who played their character, they were believable. I mean, they might not win an Oscar, but they were believable for their roles. One thing I want to say, we because of our schedules not working, we didn't see the movie at the same time. But I will say, this would have been a weird movie to see with my mother.
Yeah.
This movie is rated R for a reason.
Yes.
And you find that reason out pretty much within the first minute.
Yes. And next week, I'm going to spoiler alert. Because there are some things I want to say about the movie that I can't say now.
Right. This is spoiler free. This review is. But next week.
Next week, I'm talking. I'm talking.
It would kind of be like if somebody did a review of The Sixth Sense. There'd be like nothing you could talk about unless you pretty much gave.
Then you really want to punch somebody.
Right, right. So we're doing our best to make it where you don't want to kick us after this review.
Right.
But no, the movie itself, I thought that Joseph Gordon-Levitt did not let me down.
It was a good movie.
As far as writing, directing, starring. And like I said, I thought the people that he played off of were very nice. It was nice to see Tony Danza back doing what he could do. And the roles that everybody played and everything. And the movie was funny. It was.
So, on a scale of 1 to 5?
Scale of 1 to 5, bags of popcorn.
Buckets of popcorn.
Buckets of popcorn.
What would you give it?
You know, before we were doing the review, I was going back and forth about, okay, what do I want to give this movie? And I don't normally rate things out of 10. But, you know, I'm just...
You're good.
But I divide by 2. Normally rate...
Okay.
I said
you rate by a 10.
I normally rate things out of 10, but I divide by 2, like I did on the last one.
Okay.
And I was thinking... 6.5.
Wow, really? I was gonna give it an 8.
And that's the thing. I feel like 6.5 is too low, but I feel like I rate everything as 7. And did it deserve an 8?
I would give it an 8. I gave it an 8. I thought it was cute.
Well, okay,
I thought it was cute.
I'm not gonna say my definitive reason why right now.
See, next week, we gotta talk next week.
Well, it's not even so much that. But one of the reasons why is I found the end teensy bit cliche. Okay. With the twist, it was still.
Why we gotta go right here?
Because teensy. No, okay. It's like also I felt.
Okay. Oh, let me say this.
Why do you rate it what you rate it?
Well, let me say this about what you just said. I did fall asleep toward the end. So yeah, I do understand what you're saying about. I understand what you said. It's somewhat cliche.
Yeah, somewhat. Also,
I feel like I need to.
What?
Nothing. Let's just keep going. All right, I give it an 8. I want to punch you. I think you gave someone.
Really?
It's okay.
By saying okay. Well, 8 is that would actually be 4 out of 5 for those of us who can do math because we said out of 5.
Oh, that's right. 4. I give it a 4. I give it a 4. So you give it
like a 3.
A 3.5.
I can't believe I give it a 3.5. Well,
you said a 6.5.
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it.
You gave it a 6.5. So that's a 3 and
0.25. 0.25.
Okay.
But I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 because it was actually very well done, and I could definitely revel in the character development, the acting, the dialogue, and the stylized shots and all that goodness. And it was a pleasant surprise on a lot of fronts. So I will say that some of the you're gonna say that's giving it away. So
don't say it. Don't say it.
But I'll say.
So let's say this: if you don't watch TV,
that's not how you do it.
Oh. So how do you do it?
If you don't watch, you lose TV. You lose.
TV. No, you don't. If you don't... Say that again.
If you don't watch, you lose TV.
You lose!